Do you want to learn the number one way to find clarity in your coaching business? It's this. It's through fully knowing, and I say fully knowing, 110% confidently knowing what your niche is and who you serve. Now, in so many coaching programs of how to get your business started and how to scale your business, niche is a little tiny percent of that. And that's why most people, and you may have also had this experience, most people graduate those programs more confused than when they joined because they're taught to build the house before they purchase the plot of land. Your niche, and not just any old niche, an aligned niche, and I'll go through in 1 second what that means. Your aligned niche is that plot of land. You want to fight for that plot of land. Like in this crazy real estate market, right? You want to fight for that plot of land. You want to make sure it is the best piece of land possible. Does not mean perfect because we don't strive for perfect, but it's the best piece of land for us possible. Why? You want that alignment. And here's what that aligned niche means. An example of a regular niche is this. I was on Instagram and I saw this woman. She said that she made $500,000 overnight from her business coaching program. And, I have an MBA and I hated getting it. I didn't do it. I did it because I felt forced to because my parents wanted me to. And I thought success came from climbing the corporate ladder. So I got my MBA. I could teach people how to do business, scale their business, etc. But you know what I love? I love gardening. I love gardening more than anything in the world. I love being able to buy seeds and come springtime, plant my garden and grow my vegetables and feed my family organically through the vegetables that we grow on our piece of land, right? I love being able to do that. That second one there, the gardening one, that's your aligned niche. The business one, that's your niche. That's a niche you feel like you should do. That's a niche that society makes you feel like you should do. But where you, as an individual, bring uniqueness to the table with, it's that second niche. You have a fiery passion for it, you know how to do it, and most importantly, there's a big reason why you do it. It's so that you can feed your family as organic as possible, right? As healthy as possible, and really invest in their health and maybe holistic living, and maybe there's more that goes into that. That is your aligned niche. When you have that clarity in what your genuinely aligned niche is, you have clarity in your business. Because now that you have that plot of land, you're able to build the house. Now, most people think of, their niche and their aligned niche, and they're like, well, is this profitable? Is this profitable? And here's what I want you to ask yourself. I want you to think back to the beginning of when you were struggling at some point in your life, right? Let's say before you started your garden and you were buying all these vegetables from the supermarket and maybe they were sprayed with pesticides and you got really sick. I want you to think back to that person. If you came across an Instagram profile or a Google article or a YouTube video on how to start your own garden and why you should and how this person could help you do that, would you have invested? 9.9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. What that means, your niche is profitable. I am huge on not making things complicated. I simplify a lot of things. I simplify my business, I simplify my clients' businesses, and I simplify my framework for having you get the result as easily and as quickly and most effectively as possible. So if you're looking for this clarity, if you're sitting here and you're like, Gabby, that's great, I really need that, here's how you get it in the most simple way. And fair warning, I approach niches much differently than most people do because I do not have time for complicated systems, not my thing, and I don't believe that people are really good at figuring out what their skills are because you've probably seen that chart of just take your skills and what your passion is and what the market will pay for and that's your niche. Most women in particular go off society standards. Maybe they grew up in school being told they were stupid or they were ugly or whatever. There's so much healing involved in owning your own business, but just as like being an individual in today's society as it is, it's really hard to sit down and pinpoint your skills. So here's a way that I do it in a way that is much easier than me just asking you, hey, what are your skills? You probably want to be able to respond. You find your niche through your story, especially if you are a coach and especially if you're a service-based entrepreneur. And I want to just emphasize, especially if you are just breaking into the coaching space. Huge. I want you to think back on your story. And I have a whole masterclass, a 45-minute masterclass on how to do this in much more depth. I'm going to leave that video below. But the way that you find your aligned niche is going through your story, is looking back on transformational experiences that you have had in your life up until now. Here's the kicker. It does not have to be a rags to riches story. Most people think they have to go from 0 to 1,000 and then they're able to teach people. Wrong. You just want to be one step ahead of your dream customer. So I want you to write it out and look back on your story. Write it out, start wherever feels natural and end wherever feels natural. And then I want you to go through and I want you to circle transformational experiences. Where did you go from somebody who was maybe down in the dumps or just not doing so hot and you got to here? Doesn't have to be here, but you got here. How did you do that? Your niche is sitting within that. Once you have that and you feel really grounded in it, you have that alignment. That's where the alignment comes from. Why? Because you have experienced it yourself. You know how to talk to this person, right? And I'm not saying you know exact pains that they're going through. No, but your story is going to relate to it. You have a pretty good understanding of what they're dealing with. And you're the best person to help them because you've had that experience. So not only do you get that alignment and you get that confidence, you get that clarity. And once you have that plot of land, now let's start building our foundation. So, like I said before, I'm the queen of simplifying things. When it comes to your dream customer, I don't need you to write out her hair color or their eye color, whatever the heck it is. I want you to just think about the person you were when you were down in the dumps at the start of your transformational experience. How can you be what that person needed now? Right? That's the mentor you're going to become. Your dream customer is going to be this person, a past version of you. And whenever I do my niche clarity intensives, I always ask the person on the other end of the Zoom call, I say, what year was it that you experienced this? It was 2015. All right, then 2015 Gabby is your dream customer, right? As if I was talking to myself there. 2015 Gabby, every single piece of content, it speaks directly to her. Every single thing that you put out there, every bit of marketing, every bit of copy on your website, it speaks to her. And most people get nervous of that because they're like, well, what about all the other Gabbies out there? Just because you're targeting this Gabby does not mean that you can't also accept these other Gabbies. I primarily speak to coaches. Right now, I am helping a Pinterest manager. I am helping a photographer. I help service-based entrepreneurs across the board. But I primarily target coaches because that's what has hit the best in my business. But then I have people messaging me like, hey, I know I'm not a coach, but I really like your flow, and could you please help me with this? Let's figure out if we're aligned for one another. Let me hear more about your pains. And if I feel super confident that I can help you, then yeah, 100%, I'm open to that. So just because like marketing wise you're niche does not mean that other people aren't going to come to you. But the last thing you want to do is start here versus just here. You will make so much more money being here versus here. Because when you're here, all these people, like you might hit on one or two pains, but it's not enough for them to grab. It's not enough for them to buy. The transformation isn't strong enough for them. But when you're here and you speak to every single one of their pains, and your transformational experience, like the tangible end result that you deliver is their shiny North Star, as I call it, the thing they want more than anything in the world, your chances of scaling a very strong business is here. Is within this, is so much greater. And then as you refine, right? As you get 10, 20, 30 clients in this niche, you refine your programs, you hit X amount of dollars in your business, you can open it up to here, right? You can expand, and you should expand, because as you grow, the person that you serve grows with you. Don't force that, don't stop that, but don't start there. Because what that's going to do is it's just going to add more confusion for you and for the people that you're marketing to. Get specific, but find that niche and fight for that clarity, because it's there. Even if there's people out there who are like, oh, you'll never have clarity. Will you ever have full 110% clarity? Probably not. But can you have 99.9 through making sure that your niche is beyond aligned before you just start building your house? Yes, 100%. Because when you know who you are speaking to specifically, when you know the tangible end result that you're delivering, when you are aligned with who you're speaking to and what you are delivering, the sky is the limit for you. The universe opens doors, you're operating in alignment, and that's the best energy possible for you to have. And you probably just saw me look down, and that's because at this recording time, it just said 11:11 when I said that. So please take that as a sign that it's time to find your niche, aligned niche, if you're searching for your clarity. And if you need help with that, check out my 90-minute niche clarity intensive, because I will extract your niche for you in 90 minutes, and I'll leave the link below.